Hello everybody, good morning. It's August the 12th, 2026 today, which is Wednesday, and I'm currently in the Presidio of San Francisco, which is kind of the northwesternmost park in San Francisco that's near the Golden Gate Bridge. And I'm leaving San Francisco today to go north of the bridge and follow the Pacific Coast Highway, which is a pretty well-cycled bike route that goes along the Pacific Coast, and see where we go from there. I think most likely it'll be a there and back trip, which is to say go there, sleep, come back. So I have my sleeping bag. First time using that. If you guys remember from the previous vlogs, I used to put my Crocs there, but I sacrificed my Crocs. I don't have any shoes other than my cycling shoes this time, which isn't the end of the world because you can still walk with cycling shoes. But yeah, I'm gonna try to tent out there. I think actually in the north of San Francisco there are like good accommodations. The only thing is that I originally planned on going south, either all the way to Mexico or to LA from San Francisco. But due to this fire in Big Sur, the highway's closed and it's just not a good idea to go. So I had to change my route. And here it's gonna start descending. So I'll update you guys. Oh, never mind. I thought it was gonna start descending, but it really isn't descending that much. So, alright guys, it's actually climbing now though. I just took like a 5-second break just to make sure I was going the right way, which I am. And yeah, I mentioned that I was originally planning on biking to Mexico or LA, so to go south, but there's this fire in Big Sur, and it's really my fault because today's Wednesday and I initially intended on leaving last Wednesday, so literally 7 days ago. But then I changed my mind. I decided to go to the zoo actually last Wednesday, which was a good idea. And then I was going to delay by only like 1 or 2 days. But then I was like, okay, let's do it to Sunday instead, because on Saturday I could go check my bike out at the bike shop, and then Sunday could leave. And the fire started on Saturday. So if I left on Sunday, still would have been able to get by. But then after I delayed it past Sunday to Monday to Tuesday and still hadn't gone, and today's Wednesday, I was originally going to leave yesterday, but then due to the fire, like all signs, especially the AI was telling me don't go, which is definitely a good idea because even though the highway was technically open, there's just a lot of particulate matter and you would have just breathed in smoke. Now it's actually closed today, but anyway, I think that means that I wouldn't have actually been able to get across the highway at the point in Big Sur where I needed to. So good thing I didn't go that way. And then now, like the other option that I had was to go north, and that's what I'm doing. But the thing is, I'm not entirely sure how far north I want to go. Like I could go to Oregon, I could go to Canada even. But yeah, like I'm not sure if I want to do that big of a trip. I don't think I want to actually. So given that, we're gonna see how today goes. Right now it's really overcast, but there's no rain, fortunately, because I literally cleaned my entire bike. I think you guys, if you watched one of the videos of my trip in Europe, you'd see how dirty and dusty it got. So now it's very clean and nice. Spent a lot of time cleaning it, so hopefully it doesn't get ruined by any rain. Otherwise, yeah, right now you can actually see the ocean, or rather the bay, on the other side of me, but I think through the trees it's not really that visible through the photos. But gonna go across the bridge, which should be pretty standard. I've gone across the bridge many times, except never on a bicycle, so I'm excited to do that. And I will show you guys the view, because in a second I think there'll be a clearing, and then I think it's gonna be a pretty gnarly descent here to get down to the bridge, because I'm quite high up relatively. Otherwise, I have my same inner frame bag, which has my mattress in it. I my mattress, and that's pretty much it. Other than like a lot of food, I have sunscreen, I have my pump, but I don't know if I'll actually be needing them given the conditions. But usually it's like 8 a.m. right? Usually how it works in this app is you have this like fog or cloud cover. There is that beautiful Pacific Ocean. You have this fog / cloud cover, and then probably around like 10 a.m. it'll become really sunny, but I will let you guys know when 10 a.m. arrives. Anyways, there's the beautiful Pacific Ocean, and then like in between the land and me right now, or rather on the other side of the land there, is the Golden Gate Bridge. So let's see what the sign says before I let you guys go. How far are we from the bridge itself? Golden Gate in 6 minutes, or 0.8 miles. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next update. All right, guys, I hope you can hear me. We're on the bridge, as you can tell. That's Alcatraz. All right, it's probably been like 30 minutes since I crossed the bridge, and now we're in a place called Mill Valley, which is north of San Francisco, of course. And I'm on this pretty sick bike path, and I think probably in like 30 minutes we'll actually reach the Pacific Coast Highway, so that's where you have the amazing views of the Pacific Coast. Hello everybody, it's now 10:20 a.m. and we're in this town called Lagunitas, which I think is known for Lake Lagunitas, but I don't know where that is, to be honest. It's probably pretty high up, one of like these hills, like, I don't know, I think right now we're in these headlands where there's like a couple 100-meter tall rock formations, but luckily the road goes through it. And I initially said mistakenly that I'll be going on the Pacific Coast Highway, but that's in a few more hours, or maybe less, because essentially I think this path has a better shoulder, and therefore let me just pass this intersection, and therefore is preferred for the bicycle routes, whereas I think the Pacific Coast Highway has pretty much no shoulder, or I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, I'm just gonna follow this road, but it's nice views and the sun is out like we predicted earlier. Alright guys, so in the last update it was like sunny, and I was telling you guys that I was now on like the Pacific Coast Highway, and now I'm on like the Pacific Coast Highway, also known as the Shoreline Highway, and that's like the ocean. It's like a mini bay though here though, so like technically this is a bay, and then on the other side of that land is an ocean, and it's 6 hours in, so I think it's like 2 p.m. ish, and I'm in Jenner right now, so like Kylie Jenner, that's like the name of the town. There's no sign here that says the name. Oh, there you go. I think you guys can see it there. It's the Jenner Inn. So they graciously filled my water here, which is great because I ran out of water like maybe 30 minutes ago. So now full water pack, and yeah, really excited to continue on. And the other thing worth noting is that now there's cloud coverage, so that's pretty nice, because right now I don't need to put on sunscreen, essentially what that means. So yeah, otherwise, like on the road itself, I can't really give you guys any updates because it is like beside the traffic, but yeah, still lots of time left to go. I think I'll do at least like 6 more hours today, stop between 8 and 9 p.m. because whereas the trip I did last year, or last month, was like possible to go until 10 because of the sun, now that it's mid-August, it's no longer the case, so you gotta stop sometime between 8 and 9. All right guys, so currently it's 5:44, and I'm trying to show you guys the sign here if I can find it. I don't know if it's visible from here, but anyways, I'm at it's on this side. I'm at the Gualala supermarket, which is one of the larger towns on the Pacific Coast with a population of over 2,000 people. And so really good haul that we got here. First of all, the classic 1 liter of milk, which is always a must when you stop at the supermarket. And then 5 bananas. So that's very solid haul there. So I'll probably eat like 3 bananas and then put the rest in my bag, and then finish this milk right now. And then shout out to the meat employees who had their sink and filled both my waters with cold water. So that's gonna be, I've already had 4 liters today, and then if I finish that, that'll be 6 liters. So yeah, the last time I gave my update, it was like around 2 p.m. So it's been 3 hours. And yeah, one thing that was kind of sketchy is that I had a mini wipeout like at kilometer 154, and right now I'm at kilometer, I don't know, like 180, so like maybe 2 hours ago. And luckily this is like essentially the only damage on the handlebar right there, but my handlebar was completely crooked. I had to like bang it back into position, and essentially what happened is that there's this turn that I thought was less sharp as it was in reality. And then I had too much speed going into the turn, and I guess I didn't have my my right hand, which is the back brake, in a good position, because I for some reason only used my front brake to stop without using my right hand to use the back brake, which is really what you should be using when you're needing to brake suddenly, like both brakes. And then what happened is that since I was only on my front brake, I had to like go into kind of like the ditch, because I couldn't stay on the road. I had to go into like the dirt ditch. And then since I was only braking with my front, essentially like the front wheel probably just got stuck because it was rolling much slower than the back wheel, or had much more resistance. And I just went over my bars and just completely flipped over my bars. And then like the good thing is that since I like completely fell over my bike, like my bike didn't have any weight on it when it fell. It was just like my bike on its own weight, and that's why only like the handlebar got kind of messed up, but nothing else bad happened. And then like all that happened to me is I just got some muddy hands, and then also like a very small cut here, and just a bit of mud and dirt on my shirt. But that was a very lucky thing that nothing else happened. And it's a good wake-up call that like up to now I'd had like a lot of, essentially on this highway, it's a really beautiful, just winding up and down. It's a lot of elevation, much more than I thought, to be honest. And what that means is that like up to that point I was able to go through everything without braking, because the curves weren't as sharp as you would need to brake. But that curve in particular was too sharp, and I'll definitely put this on a video, like go on Google Street Maps and show you guys the curve that I'm talking about, so we can see that. But luckily, yeah, no problems up to now, and probably like two or three more hours of riding left today, and we'll see how camping goes. All right, guys, so just quickly, I found the place where I fell, which was right here near Fort Ross on the coastal highway. You can see I obviously didn't go this far off of the path, but it seems that the GPS kind of got confused when I fell down. And if you come down to Google Street Maps, then you'll see that yeah, we're right here. And right, so I was coming in this direction, and you can see that the turn is, yeah, quite sharp. So like as I was coming down here, I didn't know, of course, to what extent it would be pretty steep. And then the other thing is that on the road, it's kind of like rumble strips. So whereas usually like I would come into the side of the opposing traffic, since you can see whether they're coming or not, and then just to use that to get more surface, I stayed completely in the outside lane. And then yeah, we keep on going. Then here, I think I was going too fast. Okay, we kind of jumped a bit, but essentially it was here where I went off the road, like right around here into the dirt, and then just wiped out right there. Of course, you can see it's kind of just like dirt, so really lucky spot to wipe out. But if you're ever on the Shoreline Highway, then pay attention right here in Fort Ross at this pretty sharp hairpin turn. All right, guys, it's 8:20 p.m. and we're now in the town of Manchester, but not England. And my speed is 10 miles per hour. Anyways, it's kind of annoying having everything in miles here, because I'm so used to distance and speed in kilometers. But anyways, what I wanted to say is, you can tell by the surroundings, it's 8:20. I'm very close to the campsite, which is called Manchester State Campground. So I'm actually I'm in like the south of the city now, I guess, right now. I've just entered from the south, right, because I'm coming from San Francisco, and the campground is, I believe, at like the northern edge of the city, so maybe like a couple of miles until I get to the campground. Honestly, I had no expectation that this would occur, like this type of fog, even though like if you're somewhere where wasn't fog, there'd still be sun out. So this is a really good thing to learn, because I think this is definitely going to make me cut this trip short, or just like, as I said, I was considering continuing north or just returning back to San Francisco tomorrow. And I think now that I know that like the evening conditions are such, I'm going to return to San Francisco in like all likelihood. But the good thing is that I have my rear light, which is the blinking red light, and cars can still see me really well. And also there's like very little traffic, which is also good. So I'm really excited to test out my setup. The one amazing thing is that it's not raining, and I don't expect it to rain. It seems that in this climate, it's just really foggy. And it's interesting that the plants here have adapted, at least the native plants adapt to essentially absorb water from the air instead of through the roots. Of course, still the roots absorb water, but there's like some ancillary mechanisms that absorb water from the air, which is interesting. But yeah, I still have, due to the fog, like tiny droplets on my glasses. So it kind of is like annoying. Every like 20-30 minutes I need to use my shirt as like a windshield wiper. But otherwise, yeah, should be joining or reaching the Manchester State Campground soon, and I'll definitely keep you guys up to date, or like show you guys my stuff once I get there. Yeah, assuming that there isn't anything else interesting before I arrive, since I think that I'm quite close now. Okay, so it actually only took 5 minutes, less time than I thought, but now I am off of the highway. I'm on Kinney Road, which connects the highway to the campground, and I can actually see the lights from where the people are camping. So I'm literally like a few hundred meters away, and yeah, it's gonna be the first experience like bike camping for real, because as you guys may or may not know, up to now I've exclusively bike packed via staying in Airbnbs, hostels, hotels, etc., which is obviously much more agreeable, and I think I prefer that much more. But when you're going along the Pacific coast of California, you get so you guys can hear the bite from the car alarms that we're almost there. When you're in the Pacific coast of California, you give yourself much more flexibility if you are willing to camp. And there you go, actually. So you can see some people there with their fires. I can really smell that nice smell of firewood, campfire. So yeah, this looks to be like a really sick campsite. I'm definitely gonna use my bike to kind of do a little tour. I think this is like designed like most campsites, where it's kind of like in a loop, where every few meters there's a campground for somebody. And yeah, super hyped to check this out. Oh, they even have cabins. Not sure how. Oh yeah, there you guys can see the cabins. Okay, we have arrived, and I'm gonna turn right. Okay, guys. So luckily the flash is really nice for recording this, and you can see I have set up my mattress, which is to say I blew into that for a good 5 minutes, and then there's my bike. So you might be wondering why I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere. I looked at the rates of the campsite, and it was like $70-something for a tent site. And like, of course, I don't even have a tent because I'm just testing this out with a sleeping bag. And I've never seen such an exorbitant rate, especially somewhere that's not even like a crazy tourist attraction. Like in the Canadian National Parks, it's not even this expensive. So I have abstained from paying, and I've came probably like 100 meters away from the campsite to this location here under this tree, where I will be stealth camping tonight. And yeah, the only thing remaining is to set up my sleeping bag. The one thing though that I'm now realizing is that with this humidity, I assume that tomorrow morning my sleeping bag is gonna be soaked, which would be bad if I was using it a second time. But luckily, yeah, I'm like 95% confident that I'm gonna return back to San Francisco tomorrow, which means that no need to have the sleeping bag a second time, which like I can just dry it when I get back. So for tonight it will be fine. But I imagine with like the dew and condensation that will occur throughout the night into the morning, that it will get some water droplets. The one good thing is though, like I think being under this tree, which has, as you can see, like really long stretching out branches, should help me somewhat, because essentially how dew works is it like comes down. So if there's something above you, it will take the dew before it hits you. So of course this tree isn't like 100% covering. Like it's not like a tent, which does block you from all the dew, but I'm interested to see like to what extent this strategy will work. And yeah, that's pretty much all. Let me see if I can record myself. What's going on, guys? There was one other thing I wanted to mention, but I'll stop the video until I remember. Alright guys, so here's the final setup. I got the Mummy sleeping bag, so you can essentially see that it just has a hole for the face, and that's it. I have my power bank so I can charge my phone overnight. Put my bike over there, and I lock the bags, which have at this point just chocolate and honey, but the honey is completely closed, and the chocolate is the only thing that is like wrapped in the foil, but closed as well. So the only thing that they said on the sign in the park is that there's sometimes raccoons, or that there are raccoons. So yeah, the raccoon, if it comes there, probably will wake me up, but shouldn't be able to get anything there. And then I now remember the thing that I forgot, which is the fact that there's an amazing meteor shower going on tonight in California. One of the best visibility, like, I don't know, in like at least a few years, something like that. This is what I heard. But unfortunately, as I mentioned, and as you've seen, guys, along the ocean, it's just pure fog and cloud. So of course, right now with the flash, you can't see anyways, even if it was clear, but you can trust me that you unfortunately cannot see any meteors from here. But actually tomorrow night, it's also supposed to be visible. So when I'm back in San Francisco tomorrow, hopefully I'll be able to see it. And yeah, good night, guys. All right, guys, last update of the night. As you can see, I'm now in the sleeping bag. And one thing I wanted to mention is that it really sucks to camp with a bike. Not because I don't have a tent, although tomorrow morning we'll realize if that also sucks, but mainly because you just can't shower, and it's like not really nice to be in this sleeping bag right now with like pretty much just the sweat of the day. Like of course most of the sweat has dried, so I'm not actually like sweaty, but still, like, I've biked 229 kilometers today, so it's like less than ideal to be lying in a sleeping bag right now. And although some campgrounds have showers, this one does not. And yeah, all the more reason to bike, what's it called? Not bike, bike pack through Airbnbs and hotels. So I'm very happy that I'm doing this experience, though, to see how it is to actually bike camp. But up to now, it's like, it's not unpleasant, but it's also not pleasant.